Hello everybody, how are you? My name is Carolina and welcome to my channel. This is a channel where I mainly talk about cross stitch. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. Though after uploading, editing, all that good stuff, might be a couple days later since when this will be first available. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to check me and my stitching out. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back to check in. I have quite a bit today because it has been way longer than I wanted since I last recorded. I'm still figuring out lighting out. I'm still working on organizing this home office craft room, so I can see that it's a little bright here. I hope it's not too much. I gotta figure out some lighting, but I think it'll be okay for now. So, yeah, I was going to record in November. My last video was in October, and I actually had a chance to record, but it was like just a week and a half later, so I didn't really have much to show. So my day was to record was the week before Thanksgiving, and the day I had set aside, I came home, left at a good time, and there was a huge accident on the way home. The way I get home is very much a straight shot. So yeah, I mean, there is one like alternate way I could take, but it's like really early on in the trajectory, and kind of once you miss it, you miss it. And I didn't really run into the traffic until like after that point. So I was kind of stuck. I guess there was one other way I could have gone, but I would have had to like cross over a bunch of lanes, and with all the traffic, that just wasn't gonna happen. So by the time I got home, it was just so late, and like just a few days after, I had family come into town for Thanksgiving week, so it was just a bust. Oh well. But yeah, so I have quite a bit to show you, and I'm very excited. I have one super exciting finish, which I actually don't have with me right now because it's being fully finished, but I do have a picture, and I will also insert a video clip that I took of it. I have couple starts and mostly progress. So I think I'm gonna start with the progress and what I worked on. So I'll start with the finish, I'll go with the progress of November, and then I'll talk a little bit about December. And yeah, and hopefully I will be back soon. I might try and maybe do a few video clips throughout December and see if maybe that would work, and then compile it on all like either halfway through December or at the end of December. We'll see. All right, so I moved the light a little bit so it's not concentrated on one side, but my finish. So like I said, I have a picture and I will insert a video clip. So it is my enchanted ornament stocking. Here's the picture. Let me, I guess, turn down the brightness. That doesn't make sense, does it? Yes, it does. You can at least get the idea of it here. And I should have the cover art, but like, I don't know. I think I was so excited to be done with that. I don't even know where I put the cover art. I'm trying to see if it's back here. I don't see it. But that's okay, because I am going to insert a video clip, but I'll talk about it real quick. So that has been a whip since 2016. I started that for my mom that year, and at the end of 2017, I just told her, I'm like, there's no way it'll be done. Or sorry, at the end of 2016, I was like, this isn't gonna happen. I am so sorry. 2017, I was a little bit over halfway done, I believe, and I showed it to her, and my mother-in-law was in the same situation. So then we said, definitely for 2018, for sure. I had my daughter in 2018, so I was like, hey, I really want her to have her stocking for her Christmas. You know, we have a stocking for you, so it wasn't a stitch stocking. And as soon as hers is done, I will work on yours. And it just kind of sat for a while, and then I had the move, and I wasn't stitching for like 2 years. So this year I'm like, this is it. As soon as I got back into stitching, I'm like, I will be finishing the stocking, and I'm so glad I did. It was definitely a challenge, mainly because there was confetti in the stocking, and that kind of slowed me down a lot. I also wish I'd done the backstitch a little bit more as I went. I know with backstitch it's a little hard because you do have to finish a certain amount of the stitching before you can backstitch, since it goes over everything. But I could have like totally backstitched the top half, and I didn't do that. So I might do that for future stockings if it makes sense to do so. I know it doesn't always, but I'm so excited that it's done. I cannot wait to have it on Christmas Day for her. And I will go ahead and insert that short clip. It's just a very short clip I took on my phone, but that way you can see a little bit more detail here. All right, so now that you have seen the wonderful finish of my stocking, which I'm so happy, finished that December 3rd, I'm gonna go ahead and show you stuff that I worked on in November, starts that I had, and then I'll move on to December. So for November, I really focused on Whip Go, and I focused on the magazine monthly challenge cross stitch and theme. I didn't do the 24 hours of cross stitch in November. I meant to, and then I just never got around to it. So I'll try again in December for the December one, but which is already up, so I need to figure that out. But so for Whip Go, 2 projects were called for me, and the theme for Magazine Monthly Challenge was mountains. My goal for that is always I think an hour of work. You can also do stitches, but right now I'm just focusing on time because it's just easier for me to keep track of. And the acrostic was fox. There actually was 2 choices, fox and raccoon, but I decided to go with fox just because I have stuff I would fit and I could really not worry about trying to fill out as many letters. So the first project I pulled out was actually not a Whip Go. It was just an extra project I decided to pull out that fit the theme, which was mountains, and that is Strike a Balance by Emma Cogden, which is also known as Dystrovia. So this was released in a magazine first. So this is actually a magazine piece. So yay for me. I actually used the magazine piece, which is not always a requirement, but they encourage it. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but I didn't. So what Emma Congdon does is she also has an Etsy shop, and whenever she designs a piece that is going to be featured in a magazine, I believe she can release it on her Etsy shop 6 months later. And there must be some sort of agreement that the name of the piece is going to be different, because this was called Strike a Balance in the magazine, but on her Etsy it's Yin and Yang. And I've noticed that with all the pieces, I believe, that I've noticed from magazines. I could be wrong. Maybe there are some that she doesn't change the name, but that's what I've noticed for different pieces. So I started this, I believe, in 2018. I don't have stats in front of me. I want to be better about that. At least like start date and end date. I'm not going to be counting stitches. That's just doesn't work for me. But I'm just like so focused right now on trying to get as much done. I haven't like taken the time to like make sure I pull out the stats and have it ready to go. But I do know it was a 2018 piece. I'm almost 100% sure. And even though the mountain side is done, I figured this piece would still fit because it has mountains on it. And I really would like to finish this before the end of the year, and I'm really not too far off. So I used that for the theme, and I also used it in the acrostic fox, because the X is, a lot of people kind of go with X stitch because X is kind of a hard one to hit, but I figured I would count this as an extra project that I wasn't planning on working out, and I pulled out for the month. And I also put the goal at 100 stitches. I'm keeping my goals very realistic. I might be a little bit more ambitious next year, but I just want to make sure I hit it. Most times I go past the goal, but I just want to make sure I'm able to hit it while I'm trying to focus. So that is Strike a Balance. I'm just going to keep working on this in December because I want to finish. I don't remember what the acrostic is. I haven't like planned it out, but I do know the theme, I believe, is somewhere where you would vacation with like beaches or something like that. And this is a night scene at a beach. So I am going to use it for that. And I'm pretty sure I could probably stick it in the acrostic somewhere. So I'm really excited to hopefully be showing this as a finish at the end of the month. It is gorgeous. I absolutely adore it. I actually thought this project was lost for a while, and I'm so glad it wasn't. I found it. I mean, almost to the point where I thought I was going to have to restart it. And I was like, I don't know if I would. I had so much done because I had all of this done and the dark blue bits all done and a little bit of the second blue. So I was like, that is a lot to restitch. So I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm very glad I found that. So super pleased with that. Other projects that I worked on in November, so were my Whip Go projects. I believe my goal for both of these was, no, one of them had a 2-hour goal and one of them had a 5-hour goal, because it's another, the 5-hour one is one I'd like to finish. I'm not sure I'm going to get to do so, but I am going to try. If not, I really want like the first couple months of the 2024 to be kind of like also focusing on finishing stuff, just because I have a lot of stuff that's really not that far off or pretty simple stitching that I could finish. So I'm really wanting to do that. But anyway, so this is a Dimensions kit. It is Star Wars, Luke, and Darth Vader. I absolutely love the colors. I'm so sorry I didn't take it out of the plastic. Maybe I can, it's gonna be crinkly, but I think it's gonna be better if I just take it out. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I apologize for the noise level here. Oh, that is like really noisy. In fact, I probably don't even need to keep this plastic. That's a little better. So this is Luke and Darth Vader Dimensions kit. Love it. Mostly half stitches, so I was like, maybe I could finish this year, but I could, but I would have to like abandon other stuff. So I think I'm gonna try and finish it by end of February, because that's the end of February is my husband's birthday, and he likes Star Wars, especially original Star Wars. He is not really a fan of the new stuff because he is a huge Star Wars book universe fan, and I guess it doesn't follow stuff and actively contradicts stuff that was in the books. So I don't know the storyline, but I understand as a book lover who is not very often fully satisfied with movie adaptations or TV show adaptations of stuff. So I like it because of the colors. They're all up my alley, all my favorites right there. I just love it. And I also showed, when all the Star Wars patterns were released by Dimensions, I showed my husband the array, and he showed me the ones he liked. So this was one of them as well. So that's why I decided to go for it. The one thing that happened with this project, I started, you know, I folded it in half and then I counted my way down to like the T, A here and star, so that I could do the words. And I must have made the first stitch and then put my fabric in the Q-snap and then somehow turned it. And I was working the wrong way and I was obviously going to run out of fabric. So I'm so glad I caught that. So I had to actually restart this month to be, or last month, to be able to work on it. But thankfully I didn't have a ton done. And in my 2-hour goal, I was able to finish the words. So there we are, Star Wars, 14 count Ada came in the kit, floss that came in the kit, and I love it. And I realize the light is kind of washing out. Oh my, I'm gonna have to figure something better out for lighting, because this looks so gorgeous and I think it is being completely washed out. I'll figure something out for next time. Maybe if I hold it, yep, at least here you can see it, I think, a little better there. So yeah, that was my first project. My second project, pardon my reach there, is by Les Produits Parisiens, Le Bon Gâteau. Sorry, I do not speak French. And this is a towel, kitchen towel, that my parents got me from the store in Paris, which was so sweet of them to take time out of their trip, which was a few years ago now, way before COVID. So that's how long it's been. And I just hadn't worked on it. So I wanted to try and get it done sometime soon, just to show them, you know, like the appreciation and have it up. And I thought it'd be fun to just have it up in the house the next time they come to visit after it's done. And then my mom was gonna notice. My dad's probably gonna have no clue, but yeah, so I don't know if you can see too well. I don't think you can. This one doesn't glare as badly, but it's just like a little cake in the middle, 2 girls, and then the flour, sugar, and vanilla extract containers. I will show you the progress because you'll see it a lot better. I can't show you anything bigger because unfortunately that would be showing you the pattern. So hopefully you get the essence of it from the actual progress, but I am going to pause for a second because it's actually pretty far from my reach because I didn't plan very well, and then I'll show it to you. Okay, so here we are with my progress. I had maybe a third of the cake done before I picked it up. So I finished the cake and I started working on the 2 girls. And that, I believe, took the 5 hours. I didn't do the best time keeping track of it, but I'm pretty sure it did because that cake took way longer than I thought, and it was way bigger than I thought. So yeah, if I finish Strike a Balance, I think I'm going to try and finish this out. I think once I get past the girls, everything else is gonna go super quick. So that is my hope. If not, I will definitely try to finish this in January. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so that was basically my November finishes and progress. So I do have a couple starts from, well, actually one is from November and one is from December, but I'm just going to show you both and then move on to December stitching, stuff that I've worked on and stuff that I plan to work on. So I will be grabbing that and I'll be showing that next. Okay, I lied a little bit. I'm just going to show you actually the December start, and I'm going to save the November start with the Stitchy acquisitions because it kind of goes together. So I don't want to reveal it now. I want to save it for Stitchy acquisitions. So my start on December 1st is 1 Dozen Quakers by Karen Kluba, Rosewood Manor. So Karen Kluba is the designer. Rosewood Manor is her company name. And this is actually a sal. It's being hosted by my wonderful friend EJ. She's actually part of the Sunshine Stitchers, which most of you probably know and hopefully have checked out. If you haven't, I will include their channel name down below because, yeah, they're amazing. I love them. And every time I watch them, I'm like, it feels like I'm back in South Florida at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. But I don't live there anymore, so I can't go for stitching days. So it's so nice to visit with them that way. But yeah, so EG decided to host a sal. I think it was born from the idea of wanting to finish a Rosewood Manor, and she was chatting with another Stitchy friend and they came up with the idea. They picked 1 Dozen Quakers, and then for the tagline, it's hashtag bake me a Quaker sal. So bake me a Quaker because it's 1 Dozen Quakers. So the idea is we're doing like a baker's dozen. We're going to work on it 13th month. So December 2023 to December 2024. EJ divided the pattern up into the 12 sections, and then the 13th month is for catch up. So I decided I am going to work on the December section and get it done. So the December section is going to basically be, okay, a little awkward here, but it's going to be about this much, like this much of it. I don't think I'm going to do the numbers. I've never really been a fan of alphabets or numbers and pieces. I have stitched out an alphabet before that was in a sampler. And I'm not saying that I would never do it, but it's not really... It's just not really my kind of stitching, so I think I'm going to omit the numbers. I might do a little shifting of some of the little Quaker motifs. So maybe like move this one a little bit in, and this one's like right next to that. I'm definitely moving that more to where the 8 is, and then maybe like this one I'll move it a little bit up just so there's not so much empty space. But either way, I think I'll be happy with it. So the way that this top symbol is divided out, like I said, it's kind of like halfway down, but then only like 3/4 3/4 of the way down maybe. So I'm probably just going to do the whole first half to make up for the fact that I'm not doing the number. But the other thing I also did is that I am going to be I already finished with my border. So, hold on. It is this way. So I finished the border. I'm just using 28 count white Monaco, nothing fancy there, but I am using DMC Colores for the border, and I'm going to use the colors in between to finish out the sound. I'm trying to see if I have the flosses to show you, and I do. So like I said, it has been like a minute and I am very unprepared. Let me go grab those flosses and then I'll show them to you so it's a little easier to kind of visualize what things will look like. Be right back. Okay, I am back. So again, here is my border. You hopefully can see the color. I don't think this one's being washed out quite as much because it's not on the black fabric. So for that, I used Bougainvillea, which is a DMC Colores. It is their newest variegated line. It's a few years old now, but it's the newest one they have, and it looks like this. It has all my favorite colors, blues and teals and aquas. It has the pink that I really like, which is a strong pink. It also has a little bit of purple where like the pink and blue, so it's not actually meant to have purple in it, but the way it's dyed, you do see a tiny bit of purple in between the pink and the blue. So I'm also including purple. So for the motifs, I'm going to use DMC 3089, 600, 958, 798, and I'm also throwing in 333. And those all go with the colors in Bougainvillea. I'm not 100% sure that I've decided exactly where each color is going to go, but I'm fairly certain I'm going to make this first motif the purple, the 333. I think right now my plan is this motif in 333, this middle motif in the 3809, then this bottom one here is going to be the 958. Then I think, wasn't sure if I was going to do this top one or this bottom one. I'm thinking maybe the bottom one in blue, but I'm not 100% decided. And then whichever one I don't do in blue, I'll do in the pink. And that's the 5 biggest motifs. And then from there, and I think I'm going to jump around to the sections to get those done first, and then I'll kind of see if I want to repeat the colors. I'm probably going to use Bougainvillea for some of the smaller ones. Or if I want to maybe pick other threads that are just like a different hue of this. So we'll see how that goes. I've got at least the 5 big motifs pretty much figured out. So we'll see if I stick to that, if I change my mind. At first I thought of making each motif have multiple colors, but I think it's going to be a little bit too busy that way. So yeah, so that is my start that I'm sharing as of now. So I'm going to be talking about December plans. So I don't have the acrostic yet. I haven't planned it. So I will talk about those next time I record, whenever that may be. But obviously I know my WIPCO numbers, and I'm probably going to try and incorporate these into the acrostics. And then if I end up pulling other projects for it, then at that time I'll go ahead and, you know, let you know what I decided to do. So the first one is, of course, Strike a Balance. I mentioned that already. I know that, although I don't remember, I think the acrostic is Voyage, but I don't remember which group it's for, and I haven't planned it out at all. But I know that for the theme for Magazine Monthly Challenge, it's like somewhere you would vacation with a beach. So I am going to use this again, like I mentioned, and completely try and finish it. And I think the goal, if I can use this in multiple places in the acrostic, I might just do like an hour. But if I really can't fit it in anywhere else, I'll just put it once, and then the goal will be to finish. So that's that. my whip go calls for December. So the first one, and it's funny because this is the first project I picked out when I decided I was going to do whip go for the last 3 months of the year here. And it was the last one to be called. So I had worked on it before, so you've seen it. But then I just hadn't worked on it because it hadn't been called and I was focusing on other stuff. So this is officially my oldest whip. I don't have the date on me because I didn't think to pull my list of dates, but I know it was in 2016. It was pretty early on. It is my oldest whip. This is Bluebird, a kit by Busilla that I got at Walmart when I was a very newbie stitcher and was trying to get, you know, just my hands on as much cross stitch as I could. And I still just only knew about kits and what they had at Walmart and like Michael's and Joann's and stuff like that. So I picked this up. This was meant to be a travel whip / camping whip. And that's one of the biggest reasons why it was a whip for so long. I had actually worked on it here and there, but it wasn't a priority because I'm like, this is my travel whip. I'm only going to work on it when I'm traveling. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, I just want it done. So I'm going to, my goal is to finish, and I think I can do it. I just have to make sure I focus and don't get carried away by other things. So that is the plan. So for this whip, I have actually finished sorry, I got a message. I was making sure everything was okay. I've actually finished the bird. I believe you saw this, gosh, maybe September? Maybe October. So the bird is all done. The branch that he's on is all done. And I've done one of the colors from one side of the flowers. So as soon as I finish Strike a Balance, I will work on this. If I keep working on Strike a Balance and I'm not seeing a decent dent, and I want to work on this, then I might alternate between those two. But I would like to get Strike a Balance done and Bluebird done before the end of the year. I think I can pull it off, but we'll see, because sometimes the holidays get you and I'm busy and I can't finish. If I'm able to finish the kitchen towel, I will try to do that too. So we'll see. I'm thinking that's not going to happen, but I'd like to maybe finish these and put at least a little more progress into the towel. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that is my first whip go piece. The next whip go piece I have to show you, will have to wait a moment. Of course, it'll be just a second for you, but my lovely little doggy wants to go out. So I'm gonna go open the door and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so my last whip go piece, which is probably actually the first one I'm gonna work on, maybe next week. I'm really on a roll with Strike a Balance, but I do want to get the goal for this completed so it can be done and I can focus on the Bluebird. And Strike a Balance is Dimensions Glory of Autumn, this amazingly beautiful piece. I remember I was super excited because when I got this kit, it was like really good deal. I mean, it was under 20 bucks for sure, possibly even under 15. It was just like a flash sale on Amazon, I think. And I'm like, well, I'm going to pick it up. And then I wanted to start it for a sale for this piece. And it just so happened to be in May. May of 2016. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was May 2016. But if I am wrong and for some reason it was May 2017, I'll let you know in the next video. But I'm pretty sure it was May 2016. And it was, I believe it was May 6th. And the reason I actually remember that date is because at the time I was still teaching middle school and it was our end of the year field trip. And as I mentioned, I lived in South Florida at the time. My door's opening behind me, don't mind that. It's just doggy coming back in. So now I live in North Florida, but anyway, South Florida at the time. We lived in a part of South Florida where going to Disney or Universal was doable. It was a ride, and we had to be there ridiculously early at the school to be on the bus. But I was chaperoning that year. And I knew that I was going to be up at the crack of dawn. No, before the crack of dawn, because it was still dark out, so we could make it before the parks opened. And that was like, it's a common South Florida end of year field trip for older children, like 5th grade and later, very popular. Either Universal, Disney, one of the Disney parks. Busch Gardens is a bit further, so it's usually reserved for like 8th grade and later. But who knows, maybe some go earlier. So anyway, I knew this was happening and I knew I had Stitch Mania. So that's why I'm almost sure it was 2016, because I think that was my first Stitch Mania and I'm like, I'm not missing a day. I am going to do this. So I actually stitched, like when I got up, I had the fabric ready. I literally had the needle almost poking through the fabric, like almost stitched but not, because I wanted to start it on May 6th as it was meant to be. And then I had the saddest start of life because I had to immediately fly over to the school, which was a decent amount away, so that I could be there to be on the bus. So you can't, honestly, when I first opened this, I'm like, is this up? Is this down? Is this left? Is this right? Okay. I'm exaggerating. I knew it was up or down because of the direction of the fabric, but that was about it. So this is like right in the middle here, and I believe it's this, let me get closer, like this stripe up and this stripe across of this little house here. And here it is. That's it. Since 2016, May 6, 2016. That's all I got. I haven't picked it up since. I do have to say I did pull the 14 count Aida and I switched it to 16 count Aida, just because I prefer, at the time I was definitely still mainly an Aida stitcher, but I knew that I think the 14 count always looked a little bit sparse for full crosses. Now I know Dimensions has like the half stitch with 6 threads and 5 threads and 4 threads and cross stitch with 4 threads, and I did do a quick test patch of half stitch with 6 threads, which I think was the thickest, and it's really not a lot. I think it's just down in the water here, if I was correct when looking over the chart, but obviously I could have missed something. But yeah, so I tested it. It looks like it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna use the size 24 needle for those stitches. If I really need to, I can even use a size 22, and that'll help make the hole a little bit larger as I'm pulling the thread through, and it should work just fine. Yeah. So my goal is very simple, 2 hours. Again, when I created those Whip Go goals, I was being very conservative because of the stockings, and I didn't know what project was going to be called when. So I made sure they were all conservative, knowing that though that the December I'd probably be able to dedicate more time. But since I want to get those projects finished, I'm probably just going to do the 2 hours. Maybe go a little bit over, like if I'm on a roll and I'm still stitching and I have an extra half hour to stitch, I'll probably just stitch it. But the plan is to hit the Whip Go goal and then pull this out next year. But yeah, so I'm really super excited. Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff actually finished this year. This was, I think it's a couple years now. This might be her second year, maybe her third one, where she picks a project, breaks it into 12 pieces and then gets it done, similar to the Bake Me a Quaker Sal, but instead of 13 months, she does the 12 months because she starts in January. And I have seen this grow, and it just made me want to work on it a lot, and it's got the saddest start ever. And I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I might go upwards on the roof and then get to this tree, because the trees are honestly the most exciting bit, at least for me. So I think it'll be fun to get up there, and then next year I will work back down into the houses, because I really don't want to stitch a bunch of red and brown in my stitchy time. I would like to at least stitch a little bit of the tree. And I don't even have to finish the roof. If I can just work my way up like the side or something, I can get into some tree. So yeah, that is the pieces I plan on working on. Strike a Balance, Bluebird, and Glory of Autumn. That's it. Well, okay, I have a start planned, and I should be working on it in December a bit more, but I might not work on it as much as I initially thought, because I really do want to get those projects done. I'll start it. I'll probably give it at least a couple hours, but then I probably won't stitch on it as much in December and do it more in January. So, yeah, that's it for December plans. I want to talk so much about what I'm thinking of for my stitching for next year, but I think I'm going to save that for another video. So I think I'm just going to move on to Stitchy acquisitions. and wrap this up. Yeah, so let's go. All right, the very first thing I have to show you is something I actually showed last time, but since I planned on starting it, I might as well show it now. This is, oh gosh, Woodland Enchantress by Dimensions Gold Collection. The art is by Ruth Sanderson. So if you watched my birthday start video, so I guess that would have been in October, I mentioned how I started Fall Fairy, Spring Fairy, and Summer Fairy. All artwork by Ruth Sanderson. They've been released about 2 to 3 years apart, I think 3 years apart. And the latest release was earlier in the year, and that was Summer Fairy. So we have Fall Fairy back in like 2016 or so. Spring Fairy, I believe, was either a 2019 or 2020 release, and Summer Fairy was 2023. This is not actually Winter Fairy, but it has that air of Winter Fairy. So I don't know if we are going to get a Winter Fairy, but for now I'm going to start this because my thought is to have seasonal pieces. I've seen a few people do that and I really like that idea. And I had all those 3 fairies, so I decided I would go ahead and pick this up, which I actually got with some birthday money as well, but not till after I had done all my birthday starts. If not, I might have just thrown this in there too. But I think what I'm going to do is try and start it in the next week or so. The first day of December, the first day of winter is December 21st. So my plan is for the 13 weeks of the season, I am going to stitch on the appropriate fairies. So Woodland Enchantress for winter. Unless we get a Winter Fairy, then I'll swap her out and just put this as a regular whip. Then, you know, Spring Fairy, Summer Fairy, Fall Fairy. My goal would be maybe 2 hours a week. So that means they get 26 hours of progress each season. So yeah, we'll see how much progress I get coordinates with that amount of time by the end of 2024, or I guess mid-December 2024, because this one is going to get the time now. And then to see if I want to keep them as seasonal pieces until I finish them, or if I want to focus on them. So we'll see how that goes, but that'll be a start soon. I think I want to start her before December 21st because the other fairies I started for my birthday, so they've got a couple hours of work in them. So I'd like to get a couple of hours of work on this done before the start of winter, and then in the start of winter I will start my official 26 hours, and if I get more, great, but again, we'll see, because I'm really trying to finish a bunch of whips that I think I can finish fairly quickly, even going into 2024. The first couple months, I think I'm going to try and focus on getting stuff done. So that's kind of a haul, but it's an older haul. So my actual new haul is, all right, so I have Gaia by Bella Filipina. This is my first Bella Filipina. I am so excited. This was basically a gift from the hubby. So this was mainly a birthday gift. So I wanted this as a birthday gift for my hubby. And he also helped me kit it up. So like the threads, the specialty threads, the Krynic, the beads, and it has a Karen water lilies. So I got that. And then I actually had a gift card, and I used that to get the DMC. So it all ended up being like birthday money, even though the gift card wasn't like actually the threads, but I got the threads with them. So I really want to start this, but I'm not sure when I'm going to. I'd love to start it now if possible, but I'm trying to be realistic and not go crazy with the starts. So maybe New Year, New Start, though I have another project I really want to start for that. Or maybe just sometime in January, I'll just start it for funds because, yeah. So super excited, very happy with it. I like the way the pattern is. The pages are regular pages. It's not gigantic or hard to use. I don't know if I'll make a working copy. Maybe. Right now our printer / scanner has gone kaput. So maybe I'll take it somewhere to get a working copy, but I might just do it right off the pattern. We'll see. I haven't decided, but it looks like a very easy to read, nice pattern. So I'm pretty excited about it. I have almost everything. Some of the threads and one of the beads wasn't available, I actually went to the cross stitch cupboard to get this. I ordered this through Karen, and she had some of the stuff but not all of the stuff, so the rest of the stuff I'm gonna be getting over the holidays when I go down to visit again. But I'm super excited. I'm also really excited about the fabric because I dyed it. I'm so pumped. Let me get my little... So this was something I had gotten off of eBay. It's a 28 count Lugana, and it was already like a very light tan, but it wasn't really mottled or anything. And I wanted kind of a mottled, earthy look. So I used some Rit dye. I used the low immersion method where you fill a container with a very small amount of the liquid and then scrunch up the fabric and put it in there and get the mottled effect that way. So this is my fabric. I know the lighting might not make this super easy to see, but at least you get the general idea, at least while I figure out what to do with lighting. I am so pumped. This is exactly what I wanted. Oh, the lighting is so bad for this fabric. I'll have to figure something else. But I am so excited because I dyed it myself. I do have a couple splotches where the dye kind of, I guess, somehow just got on there. Like a dot of it, so it's like this very obvious like dot, but I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna try and see if I can make it so that the stitching goes on it. Gosh, this is showing so poorly. Let me see if I can do something about the lighting and then show you again. Okay, I know I look really weird compared to how I just looked, but here is a better view of the fabric. I love it. I'm so pumped. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I have used 32 count in the past because I like the look of 32 count, but I'm also aware that like with beads and stuff, a fly just went in front of me. I'm sorry. It's easier if you do 28 count, it'll fit better. So I think anytime I do a fancy lady, I'm gonna try and stick to 28 count. So that was the first bit of my haul. The second part of my haul, of my wonderful Stitchy acquisitions, is totally inspired, completely 100% inspired by Rachel Danowitz of Danowitz Designs here on Flosstube as well as Instagram. She did Stitchtober, I think is what she called it. She was running low on her whip count and decided she was going to do 31 starts, one every day in October, and she showed this chart and I was like, this is amazing, and I need it immediately, which I didn't obviously get immediately. I had to order it and then get it, but I immediately knew I was ordering it. And my fabric is also inspired by her, so all props to her. This is completely inspired by her. I just love it so much. So the chart she showed that really got me is Heartstring Samplery Hoop. There it is. Yup. If you recognize that, that's because it's based off, they're basically puns off of songs released, I think originally it was 70s and 80s, but this one is 90s. So I guess she's doing 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't know if she'll do any 2000s. So the designer is Beth Twist and her company is Heartstring Samplery. And this one was the 2020. So she started in 2019, and so far we've got in December 2019, 2020, 21, and 22. So maybe she'll do another one in 23, but if she does, I really hope, I totally hope she does a 2026 one too, or wait, 23, 26. Why did I jump to 26, dear Lord? 2024 one, so that we can have 6, because 5, I just like even numbers. If you hear that, I'm sorry, I'm getting a voicemail. So Hoop, there it is the one she showed, and I was like, yup, totally getting that. And she mentioned there were 3 others, so I'm not sure if she didn't know that there was a 2022 one. So Rachel, if you happen to be watching, there is a 4th pattern. I think I let you know in a comment, but yeah. So the other one, so the first one is actually, hold on. I think, oh gosh, I don't have I'm pretty sure this is the first one. So the first one is Whip It Good. The next one was Hoop There It Is, was the second one in the series. The third one is Baby Got Backstitch. And the fourth one, my favorite, Who Let the Frogs Out? I know that's terrible singing, please don't mind me. I know like the reflection doesn't make it great to see, but here we are. Amazing. I love them. Hilarious. Fantastic. I can't wait to get these done. I wanted to start all of them, but I did not. I started with, and you probably can guess because one of them was not in plastic, Hoop There It Is. What did I do with it? No, wait. Sorry, it's got two pieces. Hoop There It Is was my start. I didn't even write down what day I started, though I bet you I could find out. And this fabric, I also dyed, kind of. So I ordered, so the whole story with this is I wanted to do it on dark fabric because, again, Rachel showed her dark fabric, which was Huntress by Picture This Plus. She's doing 40 count. I didn't go that crazy. I went 36 count, mainly because of the size I wanted it to be when it was done. And if I ordered anything higher count or lower count, you know, like 32 or 28, I would have to get more than a fat eighth. So I decided to go for 36. So she showed Huntress and I was like, yes, thank you very much. I'm getting that. I'm going to do Baby Got Backstitch on it. Mainly because I want 100% copy her. She's doing her Hoop There It Is on Huntress. And also this one has that kind of red color. So I decided to do it on Huntress. These are all stitched with B5200, or no, I lie, because the other ones aren't, but it's some sort of white or creamy color on the choice of fabric. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very light version of the fabric for the thread. So like for this one, a very light pink. For the purple, which is for Hoop There It Is, I went to get Fiberlicious Violet. And the reason for that is because at first I was like, okay, I'll make all four of them be on Picture This Plus fabric. They'll be 36 count. I got the red, I got a blue, I'm thinking a purple, and a green definitely for Who Let the Frogs Out. Their dark green that they are known to produce is called Woodland, and I searched up, down, and left and right for it, and I could not find myself a piece of 36 count Woodland. 32 count, Ada, 28 count, but no 36 count. So at first I'm like, do I just go for fat halves and just have some extra fabric? But then I couldn't find the 32 count of Huntress. So either way, I wasn't finding the fabric. I really tried. I posted on Facebook and some very kind people sent me a link, but unfortunately the shop that they sent me was not from the US. And between the exchange rate and the shipping, I just, knowing that there were other options that would work, I could not bring myself to pay that price for a fat eighth of fabric. So I decided, let me see what I can find. Maybe I'll dye it myself. Maybe I'll sit on it for a bit and maybe 36 count Woodland will pop up. I stumbled upon Fiberlicious and they had a couple green options. So I got one of them and I'm like, let me see if they have a dark purple, and they did. And I know this is totally on me. I know that monitor screens don't always show the correct color, and also different fabrics take dye differently. I did pick a linen, and but the model was on 32 count linen, so it could have taken the dye a little differently, and it looked pretty good, but it was a little bit more dull than I wanted and not as modeled as I wanted. The green came out perfect, but the purple, I wanted to do more, so I actually dyed this on top. So it was dyed, but also I dyed it too. I'm so bummed though, because something happened. I think something got in the dye, because I kept getting these, like, it almost looks like when you spill toothpaste, like you're brushing your teeth and some toothpaste falls on your shirt and you get kind of that ring of like whitish. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, well, I didn't spill any toothpaste as far as I know. But like I dyed it and I went little by little because I didn't want to make it like, and then have to wash it and start. So I'm like, I'll start light and then keep going. And so the first few times I'm like, okay, it's getting there, it's getting there. And then like one of the times I'm like, what are these white rings that are showing up? In fact, I might be able, I think I'll be able to show you if the lighting allows, because the back of the fabric still show like that. Like you see how there's like a ring there? That started happening anytime I added the dye, and I'm like, I still haven't figured out what it was. But thankfully I was able to like use a little brush and kind of dab around that, and I think I got rid of most of it. You can kind of see it in some places, but it's far down enough in the fabric that I don't think it's gonna affect it. And I started hoop, there it is. And I'm using DMC 26, which is a whitish purple color, which you can't really tell on here. But yeah, so instead of using like B5200 or some other over dyed white, I think what I'm gonna do to kind of go with my idea and make it a little bit more unique is use a light, almost white version of each color. So for this purple, it's DMC 26. For, I don't know the floss numbers, but the fabric I'm going to use for Baby Got Backstitch is 36 count Huntress by Picture This Plus. For hoop, there it is, I'm using the purple. For, did I drop one? I did. 1 second. For Whip It Good, I'm going to use Mystic. This is Mystic, right? Oh no, I lost this. Nope. Yes, Mystic, 36 count. And these colors are not showing up the best, but at least you get the gist of it. That shows, I think, the best on this half here when I turn it this way. So that's going to be Whip It Good. And of course, for Who Let the Frogs Out, I had to use a green. So this is Fiberlicious Jadeite. I want to say Jadeito because I'm a Sailor Moon fan. And I, at least on my rewatch, when I watch now, I always watch the Japanese and it's subbed. And Queen Beryl always says, Jadeito. I'm sorry, I'm such a dork. And I just like don't know it in English, but I guess it's Jadeite. It's J-A-D-I-T, so Jadeite? Jadeite. I don't know. And then sometimes my Spanish brain takes over and I'm like, so yeah. It's beautiful. It's almost a little tealy leaning, but the other option, which was evergreen, was a lot darker than I wanted. So I am so pumped for these. I wanted to start them all, and if I had got all my stuff together within like the first couple days of getting all the fabric and the patterns, I might have, but I'm so glad I didn't because I have other things to focus on. So yeah, I know the lighting's a little bit different from when I started because I wanted the fabric to show up a bit better, but I think it looks okay. I think that is it for today. I'm so sorry that was all over the place. It has been a while since I've consistently filmed. I'm also on a time crunch, so I think that's part of what's going on here. But yeah, I am so excited. I cannot wait to kind of wrap up the year and wrap up these projects and really solidify what I want to do with my stitching for 2024. I just realized I have another start, an ornament for Dina, half stitch cross stitch birthday. I might show that next time because it's like nowhere near me, and I've shown it in I think my previous video if you want to see. But yeah, sorry about that. Like my mind just went woohoo. Like I said, super all over the place. But yeah, I'm excited to wrap this year up. I'm excited to come up with my plans for 2024. I'm excited to hopefully come up with a good filming schedule. I usually film on gymnastics nights. My husband and I alternate like the weekday gymnastics. So house is quiet, they're both gone. It's a perfect time to stitch. And then we both go to like the weekend gymnastics. But that doesn't always work out. So I might have to try and maybe either after she goes to bed. I mean, it's pretty dark out and I'm just using indoor lighting, so I think I can make it work. I might have to start recording, or maybe, I don't know, figure something else out, because I'd really like to do some of my other crafts. I've been knitting. I haven't been knitting a ton right now because I was trying to finish the stockings, but I want to show some of that. I keep saying this channel, I mainly talk about cross stitch, and like it's been all cross stitch, which I'm sure you don't mind, but I'd like to share for those who are interested in like my knitting. If I do pick up crochet again, I'd like to show that. I really want to try diamond painting this coming year, so I'd like to show that. And I have a stitching journal that I want to kind of flip through and show, and I've been wanting to do it as like a Flosstube extra, and I haven't gotten a chance to do that either. So I'm really looking forward to getting a more regular Flosstube schedule going, and I'm really excited to share my projects and my plans. I am hoping to see you again in December. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do like a video like this where I just kind of show everything I've done up to that point, or if I'm going to try and record little bits and then like mesh it all together, and do like a video closer to the end of the month. We'll see. But for now, I think that is it. I'm sorry again, it was so scattered brain, but I hopefully will do better next time. Please, 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 if you are interested in asking me questions or thoughts, put it in the comments down below. I know I saw some comments from my last video and I just haven't gone back in, so I will respond to those. I believe I saw a question in there, so I'll probably respond in the comment area, but I may talk about it in the video too, in the next one. I just didn't have a chance for this one. But yeah, I would love to hear from you. It's like my favorite part is like building the relationship, and I do that a lot on the Facebook groups that I do participate in, but I'd love to do that here too. And if you do happen to like what you see, or you're interested in seeing where I am on my next video and my progress and any starts or finishes, please hit the like and subscribe so that you get notified. And if you like it, I think it pops up more in your feed and stuff. So I would love that. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you're having a great day or night, month, year, whatever. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.